Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here, and welcome to Mornings with 60 and Me. Today is Monday, it's November the 14th. I hope that you're doing well this morning. I am drinking my beautiful cup of Taiwanese green tea and just getting started on a new day. And I wanted to share something with you today for really the whole show that has nothing to do with world news. It has all to do with you and your financial security. When I started 60andMe, there were three things that I thought were important to women in their 60s. That included me. And that was, first of all, wellness, good health and well-being, staying healthy. The second thing was financial security. And that was having enough money to live in our 60s and 70s and beyond the way that we wanted to. And then the third thing was independence. And that covered all kinds of things ranging from, retirement reinvention, starting a new career, beauty, fashion, caregiving, all kinds of things that fell into that independence bucket, like travel, for example. So it gave us over the years a lot of things to write about. But I think when I've looked back at the things that were most important to people and which really generated a lot of conversation, the issue of financial security really started to take precedent. Now, of course, good health, you can't do anything without good health. So that's obviously a key and important infrastructure, great place to start. But for those people who are finding themselves in their 60s with in retirement without the ability to go back to work, at least in a corporate environment. I mean, let's be real, like no one over 55 really is going to be hired in one of the Fortune 500 companies. It just isn't going to happen. We are hoping all the time that things were going to get better, that there's going to be more education and more understanding, that women and men in their 60s have a lot to offer. It just isn't going to happen. So the only way that you're going to find work in your 60s is to do something for yourself. Now, that is easier said than done. And I can already see people leaving notes and comments saying, there's not fairness in the workplace, there's ageism, there's actually discrimination. But we can either complain about that and just get sunk into this mode of helplessness and out of control, or we can do something about it. And one of the things that we've done on 60andMe is being in a constant search really for things to recommend that women in our community try. And we wrote an article called 60 Creative Ways to Make Money in Your 60s or in Retirement. And what I'd like to do today is just go through a number of them. I'm not going to cover all 60, but I want to go through maybe 20, and we'll discuss them in a little bit of detail and give you hopefully some ideas. Now, not all of these are going to apply to everyone. Some require skills or preferences that you just don't like, and those you just move over. You just go on to the next one. Some are only available in the United States. Now, we know that a lot of our community are in the United States, so it should be helpful to some people. Others are going to, in Europe or in the UK, may feel that it's just not going to work for them. And all 60 of these, you may only find a few that work. But let's just go through a few ideas for you to make money in retirement. Now, before I start, just put aside everything you've already done. Put aside the salary you earned, the environment you worked in, the things you love to do, whether you were let go from work or whether you were, kind of managed out. Forget all of that, and let's just have an open mind and think about some of these ideas. Here we go. First thing, rent a space, rent a room in your house. Airbnb has a great infrastructure now for you to do that. There's actually another one in the UK called Freebird, where same kind of thing, where you basically rent out a room in your home to a guest. Now, these systems do have security checks. I've used Airbnb a lot. Never rented my own room, but it's definitely a way to rent a room for a night or for a week or even a month. And a lot of women are making money from that. So that's one idea. The next is consider a group like Rent a Grandma. Now, Rent a Grandma is in the United States only. You put up a profile on the Rent a Grandma website, and then you can basically look for jobs that people are advertising for for that category. And it's tutoring, elder care, all kinds of things that you would have the skills to do if you can overcome the barrier of the rent-a-grandma stigma. But it's another great opportunity. Next thing to try is international house sitting. Now, international house sitting, there are plenty of people in our community who have written about this. So you could always go check out their stories. They find it a very good way to basically live rent-free in really wonderful places around the world. So if you're ready to give up where you're living, and or even maybe for part of the year, instead of traveling, instead of having to spend the money traveling, you can go and be a house sitter. And these places are literally, from Greece to Spain to Croatia to Australia, all over the world. So that's another option. Here's another idea for people that are into photography, and that is to sell your photos. Now, this may not sound like a very interesting idea, but I'm actually quite interested in this one because as a website that depends on stock photography, in other words, pictures that we have to be licensed to use. That's why we can't find a lot of pictures. We have to use what we can from online companies. And if you have a good eye and you're a good photographer, there are several of these groups where you can upload your pictures, and if you sell them, you get a commission. So I think that iStockPhoto and Shutterstock, there's a few, just look online, where to sell my pictures online. And there are some categories that I would highly encourage people to think about. And one is, there are very few really nice pictures of older women doing just normal things. A lot of the photos that we have to choose from are very staged and posed, and they just don't look real. So if you have friends and you can take some pictures, and yes, that's one option. Another is plus size women. It's actually really embarrassing I mean, I'm not I'm a plus on the plus size by the scale of plus size women, and I look for pictures and I just think they're very extreme, and we need some more natural, normal kinds of plus size women's photos. So anyway, I think that selling your photos, if you can find the right category, diversity is another area. We have challenge finding, women of color, Asian women, so there's a possibility. The next thing I would suggest is to get paid for copywriting. Now, there's a lot of people who do this, and I'm looking at this, Copify, London Brokers, there's a few others, but again, for all of these, just Google, looking for copywriting opportunities. And in the article, we do have links, so we'll put the link to the article so you can go back there. Anyway, but then you can just take on copywriting opportunities. And if you've worked in any office environment or any project management or technology company, you would know how to be a copywriter. It's a matter of practice more than anything. So that's another option for you. Now, are any of these sounding good? There's also a company called Upwork, by the way, that you can do copywriting and other creative jobs. It's getting a little competitive right now. You have to be willing to work for a lower salary than you probably ever would expect to. But if you can earn, $500 or even $1,000 a month from doing this kind of retirement work on the side, maybe it's worth it for you. Now, another thing you can do, take a breath here so you can absorb all of this. I know I'm sort of running through them. Another idea is to sell handmade products online. I know a lot of women who make soaps, and I love handmade soaps. I actually go onto Etsy, which is another place you can sell your handmade goods, and look for interesting soaps. And they're natural. They're usually quite made without preservatives. And there's just something lovely about a bar of a beautiful handmade soap. Other people make jewelry. You can make, anything. If you sew, you can make little bags. There's all kinds of ideas. And I mentioned Etsy. That's a great place to go online, and you can open a little shop. It doesn't cost anything to open the shop. There's a commission that is paid when you do sell something, but if you're doing really well with it, it's worth it. And you can do it even if you're working now. You could do that as a side job, something that you love, even knitting. Lots of women sell their knitting products on Etsy. So handmade stuff, that's always kind of cool. And then you can also sell custom products online. So again, using people like Etsy or Cafe Press, or there's a place called Zazzle. You can do things like design t-shirts, and then when someone buys your t-shirt with either your artwork or you can put text on there like words, then you get it, they take a commission and then you get paid the rest. I did this for a while years ago. It was really fun. I did these funky t-shirts just with words on them like gratitude and share, and I sold quite a few. And anyway, it was more for my own fun as anything, but it's an idea, making custom products. Another thing you could try would be freelance tutoring. We talked a lot about mentoring, about doing things with other people, and using the education that you've had the opportunity to absorb in your life. And of course, you've got to be knowledgeable in the subject. Like if you're going to tutor for math or science, you have to know what you're talking about. But there's plenty of tutoring opportunities. And again, if you look in the article, you'll see some examples that we give. So that's it. And of course, there's lots of other ones. I could go on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with those. I think I've given you about 10 today. And then I'll come back and we'll do another 10 another day and give you more ideas. But go up to the article on our website and take a look at what we've offered there. See what sounds right for you. Maybe nothing that I've talked about today, but there's another 50 to explore. And so that's it for today. Now, just so you know this, and I've been checking these dates as regularly, these funny days. Today, the 14th of November, is Loosen Up, Lighten Up Day. This is the day where really you had my permission to loosen up, lighten up, just relax. Whatever is on your mind isn't important. Just let it go today. So it's kind of let it go day. Enjoy your Monday. But by the way, please tell people about 60andMe mornings. Go up to 60andme.com/mornings, and then you can get the news first. And just know that you're valued here, that I just value every single one of you. And I want you to know that I really do care about you being happy and healthy in your 60s. And that's why I spent the time today going through these creative job opportunities. So enjoy your Loosen Up, Lighten Up day. And I have a question for you to answer. And that is just back to our story today, which is, did any of those ideas, retirement working ideas, sound interesting to you? And the other part of the question is, have you found a creative way to make money in retirement? Please share, because then maybe other people can learn from your experience. Well, thank you so much for being here. Have a fabulous Monday, and I look forward to seeing you all back here tomorrow on Mornings with 60andMe. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.